He threw a James Bond-themed party at the Fontainebleau, Miami Beach. He bought an $8.5 million mansion in Windermere. He promised investors up to 8% monthly returns from crypto liquidity pools. And out of $328 million collected from victims, federal blockchain analysis found that only 1.5 million ever touched an actual crypto platform. Christopher Delgado was 34 years old when the FBI came knocking. And in an exclusive interview after his arrest, he looked into the camera and said he came back from Dubai to take full responsibility. The feds are auctioning everything he owns. Before the mansions and the Miami Beach parties, Christopher Alexander Delgado was running a company he originally called Goliath Ventures Firm out of Apopka, Florida, a small city just north of Orlando. Strip malls, chain restaurants, retirement communities. Not exactly the backdrop you'd expect for a $300 million fraud operation. He rebranded the company to Goliath Ventures sometime before January 2023. The pitch was simple: hand over your money, and his team would deploy it into cryptocurrency liquidity pools. According to the Department of Justice indictment, he guaranteed returns between 3 and 8% per month, not per year. Per month. For anyone keeping score, 8% monthly would turn a $100,000 investment into over $2.5 million in 3 years. Those numbers don't exist in legitimate finance. They never have. Even the best hedge funds on Earth average somewhere around 15 to 20% annually. Delgado was promising that every single month. But people believed him. According to the DOJ press release, victims handed over $328 million between January 2023 and January 2026. 3 full years. That's roughly $9 million flowing in every month, month after month, from people who trusted this guy with their savings. The way Delgado kept the machine running was textbook Ponzi. Early investors saw returns. Those returns came from new investors' deposits. As long as fresh money kept coming in, everyone felt like a genius. The crypto angle made it feel cutting edge and legitimate. Liquidity pools, decentralized finance, yield farming. These are real concepts in crypto. Delgado just wasn't using them. And that's the part that makes this case stand out from your average fraud. He didn't even try to trade. He didn't lose investor money on bad bets or risky leverage. He just took it directly from their accounts into his. According to the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, federal blockchain analysis traced where all that money went. Out of $328 million, only about 1.5 million ever reached an actual cryptocurrency platform, specifically Uniswap. That's less than half of 1% of total investor funds that even touch the crypto ecosystem. The rest went to Christopher Delgado's lifestyle. That $8.5 million mansion in Windermere sits in one of Central Florida's wealthiest zip codes. Tiger Woods lives in Windermere, so do a handful of NBA players. According to the federal indictment, Delgado also purchased a $3.2 million home in Winter Park, plus additional properties in Kissimmee and Sanford. 4 homes, purchased with money that was supposed to be generating returns inside DeFi protocols. Then there were the cars, luxury vehicles, plural. The government didn't specify makes and models in the public filings, but they're pursuing civil forfeiture on all of them. And the James Bond party at the Fontainebleau. If you've never seen the Fontainebleau, Miami Beach, it's a 67-story oceanfront hotel, where rooms start around $800 a night. Delgado reportedly rented out a section for a themed event while his investors' money was disappearing into his personal accounts. The party wasn't quiet either. This wasn't a man trying to hide what he was doing. He was spending stolen money in front of everyone, dressed up like a Bond villain, while telling his investors he was busy managing their crypto portfolios. This is where the timeline matters. For 3 years, nobody in law enforcement publicly flagged this operation. 3 years of monthly payouts, property acquisitions, and lifestyle inflation. The scheme only collapsed when new money couldn't cover the old promises. Every Ponzi has that moment. The growth plateaus, new recruits slow down, and the operators realize the math stopped working 6 months ago. By January 2026, the music stopped. Federal agents executed search warrants. The Department of Justice unsealed charges of wire fraud and money laundering against Christopher Alexander Delgado. The IRS Criminal Investigation Unit was the one that traced the blockchain. Once they saw that less than 0.5% of investor funds ever reached a crypto platform, the case built itself. And then Delgado did something unusual. Finding this useful? Subscribe. More crime breakdowns like this every week. According to CoinDesk, he had already left the country. He was in Dubai. For anyone unfamiliar, Dubai has become a destination for people trying to stay ahead of federal warrants. The UAE and the United States do not have a formal extradition treaty. Plenty of accused fraudsters have parked themselves in Dubai indefinitely. But Delgado came back. According to WFTV, he flew home specifically to give an exclusive interview after his arrest. He sat down on camera and said he was ready to take full responsibility for what happened. He was calm, composed, almost rehearsed. If you've been watching this channel, you already know what taking full responsibility means coming from someone facing 30 years in federal prison. It means his lawyers told him cooperation looks better at sentencing. It means he's calculating. A guilty man who flees to Dubai doesn't fly home and do interviews because he grew a conscience. He does it because his attorneys explained what happens to defendants who look like flight risks. He does it because voluntary surrender and the appearance of remorse can shave years off a sentence. The interview itself becomes evidence of good character for the judge. The charges he faces tell the full story. Wire fraud carries up to 20 years. Money laundering carries up to 10. Combined, Delgado is staring at 30 years maximum if convicted on all counts. Meanwhile, the federal government is pursuing civil forfeiture of every asset connected to the scheme. The Windermere Mansion, the Winter Park House, the Kissimmee and Sanford properties, the vehicles. Anything purchased with stolen investor funds goes back into the pot for victim restitution. The Goliath Ventures case fits a pattern that keeps repeating in crypto fraud. The pitch always sounds sophisticated. Liquidity pools, algorithmic trading, DeFi yield optimization. The language is designed to make investors feel like they're accessing something exclusive and technical that regular people don't understand. But the mechanics underneath are always the same as every Ponzi scheme since Charles Ponzi himself. New money pays old money. The operator skims from the top. The math is impossible, but nobody checks the math because early investors receive their promised returns right on schedule. The crypto angle adds one extra layer that traditional Ponzi operators never had. Blockchain is public. Every transaction is theoretically traceable. And that's exactly what caught Delgado. The IRS criminal investigation team ran blockchain forensics and found that virtually none of the investor capital ever entered the DeFi ecosystem he claimed to be trading in. The same technology he used as a selling point became the evidence that buried him. $328 million moved through his accounts. 1.5 million touched Uniswap. The other 326.5 million funded a lifestyle that looked exactly like success to anyone watching from the outside. Delgado is currently awaiting trial in the Middle District of Florida. He was 34 at arrest. If convicted on all counts and sentenced to the maximum, he'd be 64 when he gets out. The properties are being seized. The vehicles are being cataloged. The James Bond parties are over. And somewhere in Central Florida, investors who trusted this guy with their retirement savings, their kids' college funds, their life's work, are hoping that civil forfeiture returns something meaningful. In cases like these, it rarely returns everything. If you want more stories like this, they're all here on the channel.